Christmas is right around the corner, and you're probably thinking of something to get for that video game collector in your life. Well, look no further. Super Nicktendo is going to help you try to hone in your gift-giving skills and make sure that collector has a good Christmas and you're the reason for it. Well, I can't guarantee the excitement is going to be as great as the Nintendo 64 kid, but it will prevent them from standing in line at Target the next day to get store credit for something that they really want. So first things first, ask for a list. I know it technically takes the fun out of gift giving, but for a collector, nothing's worse than having to get a game that they already own or a game that they can't play because they don't have the system you bought for it. Having a list also gives a collector a way to wish around a budget. I'm pretty sure that every collector would love an NES Gold Championship cart or a Panzer Dragoon Saga complete in box. But on the same coin, almost everyone doesn't have $600 to drop on a single person, much less $26,000. I finally got into making a list last year. Up until then, I would just buy what I wanted and be content with it. Now I don't buy anything for myself from November 1st to January 1st. Anything that I see that I want, I put it on my list and I share it with my wife and my family. Also, the best thing about that list is you can provide links on where to find this stuff. Last year I asked for the Aladdin Deck Enhancer for the NES. Do you know what that is? Neither did my mother-in-law, but since I provided a link of what I was looking for, she was able to find one at a reasonable price and I got what I wanted. So if you got a list, you can essentially get anything on that list within your budget and call it a day. I would coordinate with family members to make sure there's no duplicates were purchased, and usually that gets the job done. But what if you don't get a list? If you don't get a list, I would suggest getting something video game related instead of buying actual video games. Personally, when making a list, I don't want to put the expensive games that I want on there because of counterfeit merchandise. There are plenty of fakes of real games out there, and nothing would pay me more if someone I love got me a game, spent their entire budget, and it turned out it was a fake. There's also factors like condition, whether it's complete and if it has a misprint, and that really complicates things of actually buying video games for a collector. So the rule of thumb is don't, unless they've done the research for you. The go-to for every person that doesn't have a list is cold hard cash. Sometimes money really is the key to happiness, and giving someone either cash or gift cards to gaming related store is a safe bet. This allows the collector to get something that they've had their eye on for a while, but just couldn't justify buying it until now. But if you want to be creative, I have some categories to consider when buying a gift. It doesn't have to be exactly what I list, but these are some starting points for someone who doesn't know a whole lot about gaming, but wants to get that gamer a gift. So for example, let's start out with books. Does your video game collector really like Nintendo? Well, why not get them something Nintendo related like the Ultimate NES Guide from Pat Contry, aka the NES Punk. It's a book that has all the NES games reviewed based on a 5-star scale, and this is a perfect companion for any collector. Another great book is the NES Famicom Visual Companion. This is more of a coffee table book, but has some unique game interviews and high quality images on each page. There's a book for almost every system, and even a book about video games like Ready Player One would be a good gift to give. It's unique enough that they might not know they wanted it until you gave it to them. And if books aren't their thing, maybe a vinyl pressing of a video game soundtrack would be better suited. There's a lot of artistic pressings out there of popular soundtracks, and vinyl is making a comeback, so they might already have some other records. If they don't have a turntable, most of these soundtracks are available on CD as well. So maybe they like artwork. Video game artwork is totally a thing, and the quality of it ranges from this crappy Fallout Quantum Soda all the way up to these screen printed Cuphead posters. Art is subjective, so you'll have to know the person, but if you find something that's related to a person's favorite game, I'm sure that they'll appreciate it. I personally like different styles of art to hang on my walls, but since it's video game related, it makes my game room so much more of an actual game room. I would strongly recommend only buying from reputable sites like IM8bit, Fangamer, and the Yeti. Other sites are out there, but for high quality, usually developer sanctioned artwork, I would suggest those legitimate sites. Now I mentioned the crappy Fallout soda. I got that from Etsy. And here's the deal about Etsy, it's a coin flip on how good the item is going to be. The price tag is not a qualifier for quality. Sometimes you get what you paid for, and other times you overpaid and got something that did not look like what was pictured. Now take this boo for example. Looks pretty cool in the pictures. The measurements are also there in the description and it tells you what it's made out of, but when I finally got it, you can see that it doesn't quite match the pictures and the quality isn't what you would expect. The seller says it's made out of ABS, which is a technical name for a type of plastic. But on the other hand, I've had really good experience with buying posters. Searching for random video game and poster will give you a ton of results. I would suggest buying from an artist that has a picture of the actual print instead of these digital mock-ups of what it would look like above your couch. Also pay attention to what it's printed on and how it's printed. This Wind Waker scroll is screen printed on burlap fabric to make it look old-timey. For $20, this would be a really cool addition to any Zelda fan's collection, and I actually might add this to my list. Also, pay attention to the seller's location. A lot of these sellers are from Europe, so it might not make it to the US in time by Christmas. But even if you order now, and if you're okay with just giving a piece of paper, it should be worth the wait. So another thing to consider is action figures and statues. They're a good supplement to any collection, and knickknacks like these are good to place around the game room for display. So there's a couple of categories of these. First one is amiibos. I like Shovel Knight, so I got this Shovel Knight amiibo. They're coming out with a 3-pack later this year and I can't wait. The best part is that they're inexpensive and great to give as a gift. All amiibos unlock certain things in Nintendo games, and they're great for somebody who likes Nintendo, but probably not great for someone who has a PlayStation or Xbox, which is more common these days. So next on my list is toys. When I was a kid, we didn't really have a lot of video game toys. We had lunchboxes and these cheap looking figurine statues that may or may not contain lead paint. Now you can walk into a video game section of Target and be able to find an action figure of the game that you enjoy. I suggest checking out Toys R Us first. They have a ton of different figures that are great representations of the games, and they really look cool on the shelf. The world of Nintendo toys, especially the smaller ones, also make great stocking stuffers. Now, if you don't want to do toys or artwork or books, you can go the practical route. These can be useful household items that are video game related, like this Power Glove oven mitt or this Master Sword letter opener. You can even buy pillows like this Thwomp pillow. It's officially licensed by Nintendo and it looks amazing. T-shirts are always a good bet too. I suggest buying from Threadless or Woot because they usually have the best quality fit, and they have a very unique designs that aren't found anywhere else. Or maybe a wallet. I have this Zelda wallet that I got from Target for $10. It's pretty awesome and I get compliments from time to time. They also sell different types of wallets as well. And you can't go wrong with a coffee mug. This pipe one looks amazing even though it's sold out. So that wraps up my video game collector buying guide. I know that it doesn't really give you exactly what to buy, but hopefully it gives some options on how to select the correct gift for that someone who appears to have everything. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe. I'm Super Nicktendo, and I'll see you next time.